What's up, guys? Anthony here with Visual Anthony, and today we're going to look at webcams, the quality of those webcams on video calls, and just how we can take something that looks like this and turn it into this or this. So with everything going on in the world these days, the video conference call has become the thing we have to do when we're meeting face-to-face with our teams or we're meeting with clients or prospects. Unfortunately, the quality of video and the screenshots I've been seeing on my timelines as of late just isn't up to par, especially in the year 2020. We can do better. We will do better right now. That said, whether you're on a slim budget or you just have money to throw away, I'm going to share some simple things that you can do to up the production value of your video calls and showcase yourself in a more professional manner to your clients. Let's dive in. So this first setup is just your basic laptop webcam with natural ambient light, just light that's just been given to us. Basically your typical everyday video call. Now I'm sure we've all seen or used something that looks like this, or my personal favorite, the infamous plain Jane flat background like this. No character. So how do we make it better? Well, first and foremost, nobody wants to see what's up our noses. No. They just don't. Most of the time your laptop is going to be sitting on a table or a desk. It's below our eye line and it's just not very flattering at all. Take it from the women in our lives. There's a reason why when they take selfies, they're up here because it's flattering. So we need to raise that lens up a bit. The free solution here would be simply to elevate the laptop using a stack of books, or a box or something similar. Ideally, if you have a laptop stand, that's what you want. You can pick those up at Amazon, 20, 30 bucks, get you a nice laptop stand. We just want that camera lens to be level with our eye or slightly above it. For this particular example, I'm going to go the free route and just use a shoebox. And there we are. Next, we're gonna need light. Lighting is going to be the maker or breaker of video quality here. The free solution would be to locate a window with a decent amount of light coming in and just simply face it. And for the love of all things holy, do not put it behind you. Just to give you an example, when we're doing this light is just throwing a huge contrast because the camera don't know what to do. It's picking up light from back there and it's trying to expose for this and not trying to expose for you. A lot of times you'll have like that kind of stuff right there where it's going up, it's going down, it's just all over the place. But by simply just rotating a nice 180 degrees, we drastically improve the quality of the video just on our laptop camera. And that's why I say if you have an available light source that's coming from outside, just simply post up, get you some kind of thing set up and just face that and use that window as your light source. Alternatively, if you have a second monitor or maybe even a TV laying around, you can simply change the background of that thing to white and voila. For this particular setup, I have a TV actually right above me here. And a lot of times what I do is I just simply go to Google and I just let it sit. And that's what that looks like with just simple white background and just shining down. So you can see with a white background, without, with a white background, without. So now we want to create depth. We can achieve this easily by just repositioning ourselves and our cameras. The rule of thumb I like to go by here is just a simple 45-degree rule. So however you're positioned right now, simply rotate yourself and your laptop 45 degrees to the left or 45 degrees to the right. So let's do that. So we move our laptop over. I'm going to transition out of the shoebox into a proper stand. So now you can see we've created some depth. We've created a little bit more character in our shot. The window, the bright light source that we're using here with our natural light, combined with the TV that we have here. So we have the window acting as our key light, our main light source. It's almost probably a little too harsh. So if you had some blinds or something like that, you could probably throw that over there and just kind of soften that light coming in a little bit more. And then of course this light just adding in a nice little fill on this side of the face. And you can see if we were to take that TV off, we're out here looking like Two-Face, you know? So just using natural light and some sources that we have available to us, we can pretty much make a decent quality image just using our laptop webcam. This segues seamlessly into the next step, which is the background. We want to be mindful of our backgrounds because people will notice what's back there. And 9 times out of 10, they will be judging you on it. Simple solution, just clean up a bit, tidy it up, make it look nice. For me, I like to keep my background contextual to who I am as a business and as a person. I create videos for a living, so most everything that you're going to see in my background is going to reflect that. Last and probably the most important is the audio. Most of us probably have earbuds or headphones laying around from phones that we've bought over the years. We want to make sure we don't have any feedback coming through our mic. So just slap on some headphones of any sort and you should be good. And the people on the other side of the call will thank you for it. For the most basic of video calls, your internal microphone on your laptop will do just fine. A quick tip is just make sure you're in a fairly quiet environment. If you're working from home, just politely tell your kids to chill out for a minute. So just to rehash where we went from this to this in just a few short, easy, free steps. So this next setup, you can continue to use your laptop's webcam, or you could spend a little extra cash and get a dedicated webcam. I personally use the Logitech C920. It's been great and I highly recommend it. It has features like 1080p resolution, autofocus, and decent low light capabilities. So let's swap over to that. Boom. So just with no light, monitors and stuff, ambient light in the room, this is the image that we get just off of the Logitech C920 itself. We're not going to be using natural light as our main source with this setup. We're going to bring in an LED panel. Boom. I'm using the Aperture 672 panel because it's what I have on hand. It's a great light. It's lightweight. Right now we're powering it with batteries, so you don't have to worry about cables if you don't want to. And it's just aperture quality of light. And you can see here, it's probably a little more than an arm's length away. And I have it turned away because at its lowest brightness, it's going to blow my face out. So I turn it away just a little bit, just so I don't blow out and overexpose my face. They aren't the cheapest panels on the market, but they are reliable and they work great. Any kind of cheaper alternative should do fine. Just make sure you read those reviews, see what other people are saying, check out those other experiences. I do recommend that you keep it daylight balanced, or at the very least get a bicolor light. Unless you're going to be in a room without windows or ambient light, daylight is the way to go, as we don't want to mix temperatures from our main sources of light. To expand on that, the light coming in from a window is considered daylight. That means it's within the range of 5,500 to 5,600 Kelvin. And so if we were to bring in like a tungsten or a 3,200 Kelvin light source to mix with that, it's just not going to be a very good mixture. Sometimes you can make it work, but the rule of thumb is your main sources of light, they all need to be the same color temperature. Some things we can do to make this setup better would be to add in a small light source for a backlight or hair light. This is going to make you stand out more in the frame by creating some separation between you and your background. We can also add some character to the shot as well by simply just adding some practical light. A practical light source would be something natural, practical, that you would normally see in that given environment. Some of my favorite examples of practical lights are just simple tungsten colored bulbs. So like your everyday nightstand lamp or just some kind of lamp you have laying around. I also like candles. For this particular situation, I didn't really have anywhere that I could put a practical light source, so food for thought. Also, if you have some Edison bulbs laying around, those are always sexy, and nothing says I'm professional like an Edison bulb in your background. For the audio, we're graduating from the internal laptop mic and moving up to a dedicated lavalier mic and headset, or earbuds, whatever you have. If you have a Mac, chances are you only have one 3.5 millimeter jack that handles both the input and the output. The simple solution here is pick up a 3.5 millimeter audio splitter. This is going to basically split your single input into a separate microphone input and audio output. In layman's terms, you plug one into the microphone, you plug the other into your headset, voila. So with this second setup, we've upgraded from something that looks like this and turned it into this by simply just adding in a dedicated webcam and bringing in a light, a couple of small light sources to make us pop and look good. All right, for this last setup, we're mainly going to be focusing on the camera and the audio. We're going to be upgrading from the webcam to an external camera. Just about any mirrorless or DSLR camera will work with this setup as long as the camera has a dedicated HDMI output. The cameras I use have full-size HDMI. However, most of your cameras on the market these days are probably going to have a micro or mini HDMI output. It's not a big deal. Just make sure you get the proper cable for your camera. You're also going to have a capture card of some kind to make this work. I've been using the Elgato Cam Link for the past couple of years, and I absolutely love it. The drawback to this is it's not cheap. And especially with all the stuff going on in the world today and everyone's at home, people are starting to stream a little bit more and investing a little bit more in their setups. Those prices have skyrocketed. But there's hope. I went on the hunt for a second capture card so I could add more cameras to my live stream setup and stumbled onto this gem. It works exactly the same way as the more expensive Cam Link, just without the 4K capture, I believe. It's plug and play, and it will work on any USB 2.0 or 3.0 port. Mac, Windows, doesn't matter, it's gonna work. And it's literally only $50 compared to the $250 plus of the Cam Link. I've also seen it for as little as $25 on Amazon. So definitely check that out. I'll put a link in the description section for you on that. So let's swap over to what that looks like, and boom. Might need to rate. Everything was set up. What's happening? All right, now that we got all that hooked up, we need to upgrade the lighting. Because the DSLRs aren't as sensitive to light as, say, the Logitech or the laptop camera, more light is probably going to be a necessity here. Normally I would pull out the big guns and go with a nice aperture 120D or 300D with a big softbox, but because of the space I'm working with here, it's just not going to be possible while maintaining this same frame and composition. I'm literally pressed up against a wall right now. And just for this video, I wanted to keep the the framing as consistent as possible across all of the setups. All right, so we're still using the backlight or hair light from the second setup. We have our main light source or key light here, but our background is looking a little dark. It's looking a little scary, intimidating. So for me, when brightening up backgrounds, I tend to want to get creative, and I like to introduce some color. Flip that on. Good. All right, so we have an IntelliTech light cloth with more of a bluish tint up in our right, and then I've added a cheap Amazon light set to more of a tungsten color back there just to kind of add a nice little contrast. I personally like mixing these two colors together, especially for backgrounds, as it adds a nice creative contrast and just makes things kind of funky and cool, you know? This is me, I'm weird, so feel free to add whatever light you see fit. We just want to lift the overall presence of the background. For the audio, we're breaking away from the 3.5mm splitter and upgrading to a USB audio interface. There's plenty of these floating around the market in a variety of price ranges. The ones I've used over the years are the Focusrite Scarlett and the Zoom H6, which I'm currently using right now for this video, as well as the Yamaha MG12XU, which is a full 12-channel mixer. It does have USB capabilities. It's a great piece of kit. However, you know, for these type of video calls, it's probably a bit overkill. Now, because we've moved over to the audio interface, we're going to have to upgrade that microphone situation. Most of our audio interfaces are going to require an XLR microphone. Again, there's plenty of options out there for just about any budget range. I personally use the Rode NTG 4 Plus. I use that for some stuff here at the office as well as in the field. I use the Audio-Technica AT2020 condenser microphone, and I stand behind the quality of these mics. For this particular video, however, I'm using the Sennheiser AVX wireless lav kit plugged into the Zoom H6 recorder. So there you have it. We successfully went from this to this, and I think this is looking pretty good. That about wraps it up, guys. If you're into this type of content that we're putting out, consider subscribing. Also, feel free to check out the Visual Anthony merch store over at Design by Humans. I'll put the link in the description below. We got shirts, stickers, coffee mugs, mouse pads. So if you want to support the brand, definitely go check that out. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you dislike this video, just don't give it a thumbs down. This is what it looks like. Thank you guys, and until next time, I love y'all.